Let's be honest. You're smart, girl. You are dope as hell, a true expert. You know what you need to do, but you just don't. And that's not a confusion thing. It's not always about a lack of clarity. I really think deep down we know what we know. It's that moment right after clarity where fear shows up and you back off, right? And if you know me, I talk a lot about fear and courage over fear. And it's so important to me because I see it at every level, from women who are just getting started to women leading teams, managing millions, running entire organizations. Confidence does not cancel out doubt. And the hesitation right there, that's the part that's quietly costing you time, opportunities, and yes, money. So today, I want to bring your attention to what to actually do in that moment. And I'm probably talking to myself as much as I'm talking to you, okay? When you know what to do, but you feel yourself pulling back, right? Because that is such a thing. Let's go.
One, two, three, four.
If you're new here, which you shouldn't be by now, but if you are, welcome. My name is Amanda Flood, and I help high achieving Black women calm the chaos, heal the patterns, and execute at the level they're actually capable of in business, in leadership, and in life. And it's really just my joy. And today we're getting into why you keep hesitating and how to finally move through it. All right. Our mind, another place I love to hang out, it's really the great equalizer. And I say that because it doesn't really matter who you are. If you are like the worker bee or the CEO, believe me, brilliant people understand the value of their mindset in relation to success. And everyone struggles with things like overthinking, doubt, anxiety, the worries, all of that, right? The beginner is thinking, am I good enough? The one with experience is thinking, what if this doesn't work out? And the leader might be thinking, what if I mess this up or I don't have all the answers? Different levels, same interruption. This is why the work of renewing your mind is not optional, because your thoughts will talk you out of the very thing that you prayed for. Let me show you how you know you're sitting on your gift. You might get an idea. Like I said, I think a little bit earlier, a little while ago, you already know what you know because it's in your heart. It's that thing that gets you excited. It's that thing that you can do without even thinking about it. It's probably even hard to pinpoint it because a lot of you just do it so well anyway. But then listen to how other people talk about it because that's going to be a cue for you, right? But typically you have that thing already. And for whatever reason, you disregard it or you immediately put it aside because we'll get to the because, but how it may look like or what it may look like when you put it aside. It could be, maybe you spent time brainstorming something, the project, the idea, but you find yourself overthinking the next step instead of taking it. You kind of wait to feel ready to move, right? You wait to feel, like you have all the resources or the people. It's not the right time yet, right? And this I know too, because I've done it. It's a recurrent theme in the many women that I've seen. I think hundreds of women at this point who I've worked with in whatever capacity, whether in coaching or deeply in therapeutic work. It's not just me, it's y'all too. All right. Y'all have done it too. And I think the thing that we tend to avoid that I see over and over is usually the exact same thing that we need to lean into. Fear is really what shows up in that space, and fear is it's avoidance, whether subtle or loud, but fear is actually not the problem, friend. It's what you do after that fear shows up. See, what happens is fear hits your system, your body has a reaction, and then the mind starts spinning and you just go offline. You pause, you delay, you forget, you distract, you doom scroll, you plan a little bit longer, you put the thing aside. Like sometimes it's not always about like productivity or it's not always about like motivation. Sometimes it's just fear. It's fear that's operating in a way that it just takes the mind offline and you just can't access the information and the courage that you need to keep going. And we're going to get to that too, because you can do it. And I want to tell you how. So I think the within the process, the goal is to stay online even while fear is present, even while anxiety, worry, overwhelm is present, right? Like that's always going to be a part of life. And for some of us, we're also hardwired to experience that more than others. So we're not going to take it away, but we're going to certainly teach you how to work with it. So the next time fear or whatever your thing is shows up, don't ask, should I do this? Or am I the one for this? Or say maybe later. Don't put it aside for later. Stay with it. Lean into that thing and ask, what is the next small step I can take while feeling what I feel? Now, once you know your gift, it has to move. You can't keep putting aside the work that you are meant to do, that you are positioned to do, that you have been called to do. Okay. And movement means sharing. And I want to give you 3 ways to stop sitting on that thing and actually start showing up, right? And the first is just going to be to do what I'm doing right now, which is to talk about it. Girl, talk it out. And in a low pressure way, like you may not be ready to do a whole podcast and YouTube and be on socials and all of those things, but start with a voice note, right? Record yourself on your phone. If you're ready to level up, do like a Instagram live or Facebook live, just go live, right? Or record yourself on your phone under the video aspect, do that, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. I think it's about practicing. Start with your talking points, figure out the core things that matter to you, what you want to share about the thing that you do, and just start practicing that for yourself instead of just thinking about it. At least that could be the next step for you if you're further along. Go live. You're further along, post the thing. You're further along, start reaching out to people to talk and speak at different places. Stop sitting and waiting. The second thing I would say is teach one small piece of what you do. You don't have to give everything. And honestly, most times people will be impressed with like 1% of you and they don't even need your whole capacity. So you don't need to give the full framework, the full understanding. What's one thing someone can do today because of you, the work that you do, which you understand? That's enough to start. Okay, and third, right? So we've talked about where to start, which is just kind of really doing the thing, but maybe in a less a way that doesn't produce as much pressure for you, which will heighten that fear and make you shut down a little bit more. Just kind of start in your car, start in your bathroom, just start with your phone, just start, right? And then we just share that, start talking about the thing because you want to get used to that anyway. Pick one part of what you do and talk about it. And now the third thing is to create a rhythm around that. So you don't depend on things like motivation, right? Motivation, it'll come. But when you have a rhythm, it doesn't matter if you feel motivated or not, okay? You can do the work even if you don't feel like it. So pick 1 or 2 days a week and just show up. It's kind of like I said on my calendar, and unless I have a client conflict, I'm going to the gym, right? So whether or not I feel like it's like, okay, CrossFit's on my calendar today, I'm gonna go to CrossFit, right? Even though sometimes I do fall off, but it's okay. You can fall off as long as it's there and you know that you can still keep coming back. And this is how we build consistency, and consistency builds confidence. And that's where you start to see results, not the other way around. It's not that I have to be motivated and like magically be consistent to see results. Girl, just start with that one small thing. And if you're listening to this, and I hope you are, and you know that that hesitation has been costing you, don't sit on this one too. Okay, think about how all this is resonating with you and what you want to do and what your next step is. And maybe your next step is, I'm going to come hang out with Amanda in her community, right? Because I got a dope one, the Couch to Business Collective, where we show up for each other. Okay. And that's where we actually practice showing up, not just talking about it. You want to be in spaces to practice the thing that's hard. And it's always better and faster in community with people that are doing the thing, not with people who are not with people who would look at you like you're crazy. You already feel bad enough as it is. You're already struggling with that internal noise. You don't need other people to co-sign that. You need other people that sees the blessing, the joy, the light in you, and who will expound upon that by their presence, by their words, by their service to you. Okay, so the link to my community is below, and I hope to see you there. All right. And I have to double back to this thing called hesitation, because I actually don't like how much I hesitate. And I know that might be surprising because, depending on how you see me, it may look like, yes, I'm visible. Yes, I show up. Yes, I coach and all of this. But if I'm grading myself, honestly, girl, I'm probably sitting at a C plus. And not because I don't know what to do, but because there's still moments where I pull back when I should lean in. So I'm not saying it won't happen, right? I sometimes don't respond to things in time, and I've definitely missed opportunities. There are things sitting in my inbox right now that I need to respond to. And I know that's the fear operating. right? I'll do more thinking and brainstorming than following through. And that, friend, is the hesitation, it's the avoidance, it's the fear. Some of us are just better in that space. There's some people who are like, we're just going to jump into it and think about it later. And there's some people who it's like, we have to think so much and observe and get all the details and really get all the information to protect ourselves from what we feel will happen, the fear of what we think will happen. But sometimes we've conditioned ourselves to do that so well, we do it too much. And that's me. Right? So now I want you to think about you. What would you rate yourself right now in terms of your execution? If you're watching this, drop it in the comments. If you're listening, just be real with yourself. This is why, again, I value community so much and a place to build the same consistency that I'm talking about. Okay. And I'm actually about to jump into the community in a little bit. I'm going to do a networking and marketing call right after this, because again, it's about bringing us together, figuring out what's going on, talking that out, and helping folks to feel comfortable enough to take action. If that's my good and reasonable service, I'm going to do that. It helps someone else and also helps me. Right. So I hope to see you in the community so you can practice the things that we talk about. Right. Know that fear is going to be there. Know that it's going to take you offline sometimes, but you can certainly talk it out in meaningful ways that keep you present and grounded, that gets you to where you want to go. You can start by just talking about one or two things. You don't have to get it all down packed. Don't feel like you need to be the master of anything. Right. Just be the master of where you're at. Okay. And third, create your rhythm, find your rhythm. Okay. And I hope you find it with us. Now, for my Grace Growth and Business podcast listeners, there's always a story behind the hesitation, and I encourage you to work on yours. I was on our last monthly prayer call, and I asked for prayer around releasing the timid part of me. And that release is an action and a process. And I believe movement away from that is possible because the hesitation, that's a learned behavior. It's been practiced and reinforced over time. If I can remember that and work on it, pray over it, be in community, right, who will pray with me and over me, I get to learn something else. I get to teach myself the skill God requires for where he has moved me to or is taking me to. So what I'm doing to move from a C plus to something higher because I am actively working, that may also help you through the fear and may help you from sitting on your gifts is first, I'm using the rooms that I'm already in. Right. So I'm not at this beginner place of talking. So I've got to push in a little bit more. And I'm not waiting for new opportunities. I'm showing up differently in the spaces I already have. I'm really evaluating where have I been smaller than I need to be and creating new thoughts and actions around that. I'm also leaning into vulnerability, right? I'm not telling y'all all my secrets here. I hope you're listening, girl. And vulnerability especially is hard. And y'all know it's tough. Letting people actually see you or see me while building, like I'm learning how to do that. Okay. I'm learning how to do that out loud because that's not a muscle that's been developed for me, not professionally, not personally. Okay. So I have to practice that. I have to foster grace and permission in a space that feels so uncomfortable at times. Right. But I'm studying that as a skill and I'm learning, I'm reading more, putting more into practice to build confidence and competence. A book I'm actively actually working through is called The Artist's Way. That one has been super helpful, right? In terms of writing, exploring, being more present, and leaning into my creative side, which has always been there. And really, we all have it because God is our creator and he created us to be a reflection of him. Okay. And his expectation of the created is to model his example and create more. And life can sometimes stifle that. And I'm determined to find that again. And I hope you are too. There's just so much that I love that I just don't do. And I don't want time to keep passing. And it's like I should have. And I wish I did. All right. But okay. Enough about me, girl. Let me bring this back to you or sir, because we don't just listen here, guys. Like we apply. So here's your homework. First, I want you to rate yourself, A through F, on taking action and showing up for yourself. Okay. Find your hesitation point and where do you consistently pull back? If you know that girl or guy or person, you're already halfway ahead of the game. All right. And this week, I want you to choose one action that leans in. Okay. Oh, I hear my doorbell. My client is here. So I'm gonna go through this real fast. All right. So I want you to talk back to the opportunity. Find the action, lean in, and talk yourself back into the opportunity. Okay, what's one place where you're going to show up, even if it feels uncomfortable? Figure out what that is. I know what it is for me. Okay, we love discomfort here. It's a sign of where you need to be. It's a great growth space. If you lean into that pressure, it'll encourage you to shift and grow into the direction that you need. right? And besides, the goal is to become someone who can move with the fear. So part of that discomfort is part of that fear, is part of that space, but that's not what we're going to focus on. Okay. And if you keep practicing that, noticing and being present and leaning in anyway, you won't just stop sitting on your gift. You'll start building something with it, right? You'll allow God to shape you. You'll ask questions like, God, where do you want me to be? What is this meant for? What is the purpose of this? Right. So stop thinking so hard. Don't be so afraid, or be afraid, but do the thing. Okay, then go do the next thing and allow it to compound over time. That's it. All right. So until we connect again, share this episode with two people. I'm Amanda Flood. It's been good. Today was good. And I'm so glad I got to do it with you.